Hey everyone, welcome back to How to Know Gavin. I'm on a bit of a timer because I'm currently in some reading sprints and we have about 50 minutes before we have to come back. So I want to film this entire video in that time. And usually I waffle on and 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 on during these book hauls. So I really need to focus and just tell you what I got. What I really got. Look at me being the sixth Spice Girl. So I will preface this by saying that a lot of these were sent to me. I don't think I paid for a lot of them. But saying that though, there were some. There were some. And I'm just going to do it in middle grade, young adult, and adult order. Usually I sort it out into the ones I got sent to me and then the ones I paid for. But it's a bit of a mishmash in this video because I just pulled things off shelves. I forgot to catalogue what I got new over the past month and a half, 2 months. So this is essentially a book haul from the previous 2 months. I don't want to mention it again, but I did just move house, so I've been really focused on just paying the bills, getting in shopping. I'm lying, I haven't really got much shopping because I'm not really cooking that much. But yeah, I've just been much more careful with my money, so I'm trying not to haul as much. Fortunately, I do have a great relationship with a lot of publishers, and I do get sent a lot of books for free because I am a bookseller as well as a kick-ass booktuber. What can I say? No joking. These haven't been sorted into any kind of order of when I got them either, so I'm going to have ones I've just got, and then ones I got like a couple of weeks ago, and then one I got a month ago, and then one I just got, so it's going to be a bit all over the place. It's fine. We expect this from my channel. But one of the first ones I want to show you in this video is Happy Here, and this is 10 stories from Black authors and illustrators, and it's introduced by Shauna Jackson. Shauna Jackson is the author of High Rise Mystery, and inside this book we have stories and poems by Dee Netta, Joseph Colo, Karine Gettin, Patrice Lawrence, Teresa Lola, A.L. Norrie, Jasmine Richards, Claire Weezy, Alexandra Shepherd, and Yomi Sode. There are also illustrations by Olivia Twist, Silum Suno, Camilla Rue, Dorcas Magbadilo, Mohammed Fadira, Shanti Timothy, Wumsum, Onyenyi Iwu, Lucy Farford, and Wilke. This is published by Knights of. It's just come out. It is a fantastic collection of stories, and all of the stories are about love and friendship and family and all of the important things that I think a lot of kids can get from, but not just kids, adults too. So thank you so much, Knights of, for sending me this book. Oh my gosh, why has the lighting changed? In an Outgrade Junior box, I got Kiki Kalira Breaks a Kingdom by Sangu Mandana, and all I know about this one really is that Kiki loves to draw. She is fantastic at doing illustrations, and one day I believe she falls into her sketchbook and her drawings kind of come to life, and it just sounds so magical and so wonderful. So I love this cover as well. I think it's better than the UK cover, so I'm really glad I got the American hardback of it. I think this one is going to be such a fantastic read. A huge thank you to Monica for sending me Snow and Rose by Emily Winfield Martin, and this one looks like such a charming middle grade book. It is inspired by Little Snow White and Little Red. Snow White and Rose Red. This one sounds like it's going to be so magical and have all of the fairy tale feels to it. It has a lot of really nice illustrations. I believe the sisters, Snow and Rose, have to go into an enchanted forest to break some terrible spells. So yeah, magic, I'm there for it. Thank you so much again, Monica, for sending me this. The wonderful Marissa sent me A Chance to Fly by Ali Stroker and Stacey Davidowitz. This one follows 13-year-old Nat, and she does a lot of wheelchair races with her wheelchair racing team, the Zoomers. Nat is also obsessed with musicals, and her family end up moving to New Jersey, and Nat ends up getting a part in Wicked. Having Wicked in here, it's one of my favourite musicals of all time, but also I feel like I should have kind of got it from the title, yeah, The Chance to Fly, because there are a couple of songs in Wicked that uses the line, everyone deserves a chance to fly. And I'm just like, oh my god, this is just going to make my Wicked love just grow 10 times stronger. So I'm really excited to read it. So again, thank you so much, Marissa, for sending me it. And if I'm flying solo, at least I'm flying free. Thank you so much to Faber for sending me a finished copy of The Wicked World's End by Emma Carroll. I've just read the proof copy of this last week, and I did a reading vlog for it. This is a great historical middle grade set during the Cuba Missile Crisis, and we follow Stevie, who finds a girl in her shed who has run away from home, and she is saying that she is being pursued by somebody who's trying to poison her. And it's very interesting to see the historical side of this book and how kids reacted to the Cuba Missile Crisis in Britain. And it's just really good story between the characters too, and I think it's so worth a read. Even though I don't usually gravitate towards historical fiction, this historical middle grade was so good and so beautifully written that I would recommend it to everyone. Okay, I just got this today and it's wrapped. I know what it is, but I don't know if it's going to be the finished copy or the proof copy. I already own the proof copy. It is called, where is it? It's on there somewhere. It's called the Unexpected Tale of Bastian von Livre by Claire Povey. And that's what this is, but I think this might be the finished copy maybe. So this is like Christmas. Thank you to the publisher for sending me this. I think it's Usborne. So let's open it up. Ooh. I mean, I feel bad because this is actual, you know, wrapping paper inspired by the book with like the book kind of imagery on there, so... Ooh. Yeah, it's the finished copy. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. This is the finished copy of, yeah, Unexpected Tale of Bastian von Livre by Claire Povey. This one follows a boy whose parents, I believe, have died, and he's trying to finish off a story that they were writing, but there are these villainous brothers that live in Paris, and they want to steal this story. So I think it's some kind of adventure across Paris kind of story. It just sounds so good. I can't wait to read it. It comes out on the 2nd of September, so that's actually not too far away. So yeah, thank you so much, Usborne, for sending me this. I was going to read the proof copy at some point, I promise, but having the finished copy, I mean, if there are illustrations, they might be included, whereas the proof copy might not have them, so it'll be a more well-rounded experience of reading this book, so thank you again so much for sending me it. I'm really excited that I got a copy of The House in the Woods by Yvette Fielding, and this is the first in the Ghost Hunter Chronicles, and it was Anderson Press that sent me this book, thank you so much, and I am so excited because Yvette Fielding is one of the hosts of Most Haunted. It was most likely fake. I mean, no, it was definitely fake, but it was like such a great reality show where a few people went into these haunted houses and they would spend the night there, and not just haunted houses but like haunted hotels, haunted mansions, and they would say if it was actually haunted or not. There were always things happening, there were always noises and things appearing on screen. And Yvette Fielding did host the entire show, so it'll be really interesting to read her first kind of ghost story for kids, and I definitely do plan on doing something for this book in October. So this one I think comes out on September 30th. It's going to be really good. Oh, what is it about, you ask? Well, I'll let you know. This one follows 3 kids who end up experimenting with a Ouija board, and they don't realise the terrors that they are about to unleash. I think this is the first in the series, so maybe they become ghost hunters, and this is kind of like the way their story starts. Either way, it sounds great. Can't wait to read. Thank you. A huge thank you to Tracey for sending me Adam 2 by Alistair Chisholm. This is a book that I read about a couple of months ago, and I did an interview with the author as well, and he is amazing, and I do really enjoy this book. This is from the author of Orion Lost, and this one is set in the future where robots and humans have had this huge war. We follow a robot called Adam 2 who has been in this basement for about 200 years, and then 2 kids end up finding him. So yeah, this is out now, and again, thank you so much, Tracey, for sending me it. You know I really enjoyed it. So having a finished copy of it is just perfect. Another proof I was sent from Hodder, and that is Horror Heights The Slime by Becca Hill. This is the first book in the Horror Heights series, and it's going to be like the next Goosebumps. So each book I think is going to be, well, very short, but each book is going to be a different kind of storyline, just like the original Goosebumps books. And I love Goosebumps so much. It was my childhood, so I am so excited to read this. It also came with a tub of slime, which is cool. I also think that the entire series might be based in one area called Horror Heights, where loads of different horrific things happen. So with Goosebumps, it was always just very random and all over the place, whereas I think this one probably set in the same place, but a different story in each book. I don't know, it's just gonna be good, okay? And Becca Hill is a comedian as well, so I expect this to make me laugh a lot, but also get under my skin. Very excited to get my Goosebumps fix out of this. And this also comes out on September 30th. Thank you so much to Orion for sending me a finished copy of The Dragon and Her Boy by Penny Crimes. This one looks so wholesome and amazing. So it follows someone called Stick who finds this ancient dragon in a tunnel under London. And I think Stick has to try and help this dragon find somewhere safe to live. Just looks like it's going to have the cutest relationship between a human and a dragon, and there's quite a few middle grade books like that. I don't know what it is about them, they're just so engrossing. So thank you so much for sending me a finished copy of it. Really looking forward to reading it. And another thank you to Forshaw for sending me The Battle for Raw by Jenny McLaughlin and illustrated by Ben Mantle. This is the 3rd and final book in the Raw series, and it follows Arthur and Rose, I think it is. It's been a while since I've read the first book. Yeah, Arthur and Rose, and they are twins, and they imagined Raw in their heads when they were children, but they didn't realise just how real Raw is. In the first book, their granddad is kidnapped and taken to Raw, which leads to this huge adventure there, and I do admit I still need to read the second book, but now I have books 2 and 3, I have the whole trilogy now, I can just binge them all and have the best time, because I also love the illustrations in this so much. Ben Mantle does a fantastic job at illustrating the imagination of Jenny McLaughlin, so I expect myself to have have a really fun, adventurous time reading this one. I am so excited. I mean, I've said this about every book. I'm so excited I got sent this book, and it is The Bewitching of Evelyn Jones by Phil Hicks. And thank you, Usborne, for sending me this book. This one is a sort of sequel to The Haunting of Evelyn Jones, which I read last year. It was such an underrated, spooky middle grade. And I think each book is going to follow Evelyn Jones in a different kind of setting, in a different kind of ghostly experience. So in the first book there was this ghost story about a woman who took children, and this one I think is about witches, and I think she comes across this stone circle where really spooky things happen. And I don't know much beyond that, and I don't really want to know much beyond that, because I was so surprised by how much I was taken by the first book. Like, I'd heard nobody talk about it, and then I read it as an arc, and I was like, whoa, like this was so good. And I kind of want the same experience for this one, so the less I know about it the better. But I will say I think this one comes out on September 15th. I don't believe it's out yet, but I do believe it's coming out soon. So yeah, definitely keep an eye out for it. It will be perfect for Halloween. Okay, I had to get my 4th copy of Amari and the Night Brothers by Baby Alston, okay? Actually, it'll be 5th because I also have a proof copy. Oh, well, this is one of my favourite books of all time now. And it recently came out in paperback in the UK, and it has these blue sprayed edges, and it has the UK cover, which I do love. And I do have a proof copy, I have an American hardback copy of it, I have the Alcrate Junior exclusive copy of it, I also have the UK hardback edition of it, and now I have the UK paperback edition of it. Honestly, I just can't get enough of this series. I love it so much. I mention this book all the time on my channel, so I won't mention too much about what it's about, but it does follow Amari, who joins the Bureau of Supernatural Affairs to find her brother, and she has to go through these trials to become a junior agent. And it's just fantastic. I love it. It's so magical and amazing. So many twists and turns, and it's just one of my favourites, okay? Thank you so much, Puffin, for sending me a finished copy of Once Upon a Crime by Robin Stevens. This one was in anticipation for an interview I did with Robin Stevens on Monday. We pre-recorded on Monday, so I will leave a link to that interview down below. It was such a good interview. But this is a collection of short stories set in the Murder Most Unladylike world, and Murder Most Unladylike follows 2 junior detectives, Daisy and Hazel, and they are part of this private school in the 1930s, and they solve mysteries together, and it's a great series. It ended last year with the last full-length novel being Death Set Sail, which was set in Egypt, and this one is a collection of short stories that comes kind of after that, but also bridges the gap between Murder Most Unladylike and Robin Stevens' new series, which is starting next year, called The Ministry of Unladylike Activity, which will follow a different character, but a character we know from the original series. So again, thank you so much, Puck, for sending me this, and I'm so glad it has the sprayed edges too. Huge thank you to Usborne for sending me The Memory Thieves by Darren Simpson. All I know about this one is that it is set at a sanctuary or something, and I think there's lots of kids there, but it's kind of a little bit more like a prison. And then our main character, Cyan, kind of, I think that's how you pronounce their name, but they discover that, you know, things are a little bit different in the sanctuary, and I think they're trying to find out what happened there, the truth about the sanctuary, but also to try and break free from it. So it sounds really, really good, and I'm very interested in reading it. It'll be the first time I've read a book by Darren Simpson, and they have done other books as well, which look awesome. This will be a great starting point, I think, because this has just come out, and yeah, I just think that's going to be really good. We're almost coming to the end of the middle grade, just a couple more. The next one is The Peculiar Tale of the Tentacle Boy by Richard Pickard. Look at the sprayed edge. Look at that sprayed edge there. Like, isn't that just gorgeous? I think it's a Waterstones exclusive sprayed edge. It's just beautiful. This one, I believe, is set in a sort of small seaside village where our main character discovers a tentacle boy. So I think they discover a boy with like crab claw hands, and our main character has to try and unravel the mysteries of this tentacle boy's past. I'm all here for those seaside, almost Luca kind of vibes from this. I mean, when I read it, I'll know more because I do love Luca. I don't know if it's like Luca, but it might be, I don't know. But yeah, I'm so excited to give this one a read. I think it's going to be really interesting and entertaining, and I believe this is Richard Pickard's first book, so we stand a debut author, especially in middle grade. Yeah, just even reading the back, it just sounds awesome. I also had to get a Waterstones exclusive copy of A Kind of Spark by Elle McNichol. This has an added letter by Elle at the end of this, and if you know me, you know that this is one of my favourite middle grade books. I loved this book when I read it last year. But essentially this follows Addie, who lives in a very small Scottish village, and she finds out about the witch trials that happened there, and she wants to get justice for the innocent women who lost their lives. She faces a lot of adversity, and she has to, you know, overcome so much to get her voice to be heard. But honestly, this is such an inspiring and amazing book, and it just sparked that love, I get it? Sparked that love for Elle McNichol to this day. So yeah, I had to get the finished copy of the Waterstones exclusive when it became the Waterstones Children's Book Prize winner, the overall winner and kicked butt in the publishing industry. And I love how there was a change in colours on the cover, but I do still have my original copy and I'm just glad to have both copies really. And then finally for the middle grade, I have The Strange Worlds Travel Agency by L.D. Lipinski. And again, this is a book that I've already read and loved and raved about on my channel before, but this was in an L Grade Junior box and I'm so happy to have the American hardback edition of it. But this does follow Flick, who moves to a new town. She finds this really rundown travel agency and it's run by Jonathan. When she goes inside, she sees there are suitcases on the wall and each of the suitcases can transport you to a different world. That is just the bare bones of this story, but I mentioned this story a lot on my channel too. It was in my top 50 middle grades of 2020 video. But yeah, it was in a subscription box and it's part of this book haul, okay? Okay, that's all of the middle grade done. Let's get into the young adult. One that you guys will already know that I got because it was in my August TBR because I want to watch the Netflix films as well as read this book, and that is Fear Street by R.L. Stine. This, I think, is the first 4 books that were published as Fear Street books back in the day, so these are like the original books, and I don't think the Netflix movies are actually adaptations from this collection, but it will still be interesting to see if they get the spirit of the stories right, I guess, and just to see what they did take as inspiration from this book as well, but who knows, I don't know. I just love the cover so much, and I believe Fear Street is just an anthology series of different kind of horror stories aimed at young adults. It might all be set on Fear Street, I don't know. I never read these when I was a kid. I only ever read Goosebumps, but I'm excited to try and start this endeavour now before I do something in September that involves the Goosebumps books, but I don't want to say just yet. It's a little tease. But yeah, I think it's going to be a fascinating read. In a fairy loot box, I got Fire with Fire by Destiny Soraya, and it has beautiful sprayed edges, as fairy loot books always do. This one follows 2 sisters who are born to kill dragons, and you know, it's always what they've done, it's kill or be killed, but then one of the sisters ends up forming this really special and unique bond with a dragon, and I think it changes their perspective completely, and I don't know if maybe there is some kind of tension between the sisters, and maybe one sister tries to convince the other one that they shouldn't be killing dragons, I don't know, but honestly, as soon as I heard dragons, I was like, yes, I want to read this book ASAP. But yes, it was included in the fairy loot box, and I'm so glad it was, because I don't think I'd heard of it until I unboxed it, so this was a really nice surprise. Love, love, love the cover and love the edges. One that I did know of and I was desperate to get my hands on was 6 Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. Sprayed edges again. This one follows Shiori, and she is a princess in this kingdom and she has forbidden magic, and she ends up accidentally unleashing it one day and she is banished from the kingdom and her brothers are turned into cranes, and if Shiori ever mentions this to anyone, then one of her brothers will die, and they will keep on dying if she keeps on mentioning it. I probably explained that so badly, but I'm assuming this book will then continue that adventure story of Shiori trying to get back her kingdom and to save her brothers. Really so desperate to read this book. I was going to buy it when I saw it come into the store, but then I'm glad I didn't because it did come in a fairy loot box, and oh, actually I think that was all the young adult books. Gosh, I really have been really bad with getting young adult books lately, haven't I? But anyway, getting into the adult books, which I've got a bit more of. A huge thank you to Harry for sending me Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. I am reading this month for Delayed Ling-Along. You know, it is based on Elder Ling-Along, which is hosted by Becca from Becca in the Books for the Catch Up Book Club. And this one, I think, follows an Assassin's Apprentice. Yeah, it follows Fitz, and he's trained to be an assassin for the Farseer family. But his tutor is determined to discredit him. Oh no, I think my laptop's just died. And I'm in the sprints, oh no. I can't believe I did that. Oh crap, now I sat on my phone. What was I saying again? I was talking about Assassin's Apprentice, wasn't I? I think I mentioned what it was about, right? Sorry about that, but yes, thank you so much, Harry, for sending me this. I really appreciate it. And then Galley Beggar Press sent me Mordew by Alex Phoebe, and I had my eye on this one. I mean, I had no idea it was coming, but like, I had my eye on it because it sounds so gothic and brilliant. So apparently it's set in a city, like this really gothic city, where God is dead, and we have a character who feasts on the corpse of God and gives them unbelievable magic, and he is called the Master, and I think the Master gets an apprentice. Oh my god, it's starting to sound like Assassin's Apprentice. Yeah, Nathan, who is sold to the Master from his family, and Nathan is starting to exhibit power that's greater than the Master, and the Master plots to kill him. So yeah, it does sound a little bit like Assassin's Apprentice. I didn't make the connection until I talked about them back to back. But anyway, it sounds great. It's really big though. It's a really big book actually. It's over 600 pages. You know me with adult fantasies, especially of this size. I'm terrible with them. But I'm determined to give this a try because I just love the premise. The premise sounds fantastic. A huge thank you to HarperCollins for sending me The Lighthouse Witches by C.J. Cook, and I requested this one because I loved the look of it. I mean, it's got witches, it's got a lighthouse. It's Lighthouse Witches. Right, let me just read you this short paragraph about what this book is about, because I cannot make it sound as interesting as this paragraph does. So it is set on a small Scottish island, and there is this lighthouse that, you know, has weathered a lot of storms, but it's also been, I think, a place of witch hunts and things like that. But this paragraph says, Liv Stay flees to the island with her 3 daughters in search of a home. She doesn't believe in witches or dark omens or hauntings. But within months, her daughter Luna will be the only one of them left. Like, what? Like, what happens? Why? Why is she the only one left? How? I'm excited to read it for that reason. Like, as soon as I read that paragraph, I was like, well, now I need to know. Now I need to find out. And this one comes out in September, so not long for everyone to wait to get hold of this one. This is a proof copy, and it does look like quite a nice proof copy. I really like that cover. Darkness is all around them. Nice. Now, I did buy myself the complete fairy tales, and these are by Charles Perrault, the author of, you know, Sleeping Beauty and Cinderella, because I am doing a Disney, well, from book to Disney adaptation series on my channel, and I'm doing the Silver Age next, which includes Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty, so I need to read the original source material so that I can compare them to the films, and I didn't have a collection of his stories, so I thought this looks like a really good one to have, and I really do enjoy this cover. It's simplistic, it's stylistic. Yeah, I've just seen all of the ick words. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what these stories are like. Oh, also Little Red Riding Hood, he wrote too. So yeah, I got this for my vlog. Another one I bought because it had so many rave reviews from the people I work with, and that is How to Kill Your Family by Bella Mackie. I actually don't know what it's about, but the rave reviews I was getting from my friends at work was enough to make me want to get it. Let me just read this part here, because again, it makes it sound so interesting. They say you can't choose your family, but you can kill them. I have killed several people, some brutally, others calmly, and yet I currently languish in jail for a murder I did not commit. When I think about what I actually did, I feel somewhat sad that nobody will ever know about the complex operation that I undertook. Getting away with it is highly preferable, of course, but perhaps when I'm long gone, someone will open an old safe and find this confession. The public would reel. After all, almost nobody else in the world can possibly understand how someone, by the tender age of 28, can have killed 6 members of her family, and then happily carried on with the rest of her life, never to regret a thing. Doesn't it sound so good? It sounds amazing. This has black sprayed edges and signed by the author. The reviews, honestly, that my friends gave was just enough to make me buy it anyway, and I didn't even really know what it was about. I'm sure they told me what it was about, but I wasn't really listening. But as soon as it came in, I had to get it, so yeah. This was one of the few books that I actually bought myself. And then finally is one that I bought myself, and that is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, and this is a special 10-year anniversary edition that came out and is no longer available. So I knew when I saw it I had to get it, because I got this for £16 I got this for, and it goes for hundreds online. So I thought, why waste this opportunity? Let's get it, because I was actually in the middle of reading this when I got this book, and I was really enjoying Name of the Wind. I think I gave it 4 stars in the end, and it was just a really good fantasy story, not my favourite, and there were a lot of things that I had issues with it, but it was still really fun, and I did enjoy my time reading. So I really do hope that there is going to be a 10th anniversary edition of the sequel, so that will match this one. Otherwise, you know, this will just be on its lonesome on the shelf. Imagine if I had finished The Name of the Wind and I had bought this and I didn't end up liking it. I probably still wouldn't have minded that much, because I just knew I would like The Name of the Wind. But yeah, it turned out to be really good. So glad I got this copy of it, and I'm a happy bean. So those were all the books from, I think, the last 2 months. And again, most of them were sent to me, so thank you again to everyone who sent me something. I might have missed something because I totally didn't write down everything that I was sent or that I bought. So there might be something floating around somewhere that I've missed. But if I find it, I will put it in the next book haul. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know in the comments if you've read any of these books, or if something is not out yet, if you're excited for it, and I will hopefully see you in the next video. Bye!